Gloria Strode, and welcome to Straightforward. Today we are on location with my amazing friend, David Benefield, at my beautiful home here at the historic Highland Hall. I have continued to let you live here. Eventually one day the sheriff's going to show up and you're just going to have to pack your clothes because all of this is mine in my mind. And you're just going to have to find somewhere else to go.
Okay.
I stalk this house every time I'm passing by. I sit outside in the evening. It's so, the ambiance is so wonderful. I sit at the stop sign and I just look at it and fantasize, and so your days are getting short. So maybe you can just go live full-time on the beach.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be good.
Yeah. But I thank you so much for your support of Straightforward and then hosting today. But I wanted us to talk about all of these fabulous weddings that you do. You do amazing events, and if you're not following David on social media, you need to follow him because your work is really, I mean, just head and shoulders above anything that I'm seeing in the area. No, and I'm not just saying that. Each week you're making dreams come true, and the flowers are just so different. Before we started today, we were joking about in the old days, we were spray painting those carnations.
That's right.
Every color, and those quarter swab pumps for weddings, but David does not.
We don't paint flowers. They come the way the Lord intended.
True color.
The right color.
True
That's
color.
right. That's true color.
But what you were sharing with me and all of the beautiful weddings that you do is that when a bride is thinking about her wedding, she needs to look at when she's having the wedding.
Absolutely.
Because some of the flowers only grow certain times, and if you have to get them, you might have to get them as far as from.
Well, we can get peonies even from Israel sometimes.
So this is what this is.
This is like a peony, and the peonies are the most popular flower, but you have to sometimes, if you want them, and when they're not in season, they have to be shipped in, and you can get them, but you want to get them when they're in season.
And you don't want to bust the budget.
That's right.
Because we will be shipping these from Israel.
That's right.
Possible.
A lot of times they come from Israel and all kinds of places.
Really?
And then there are substitutes that you can do, like sometimes a big garden rose that looks very much like a peony.
Because this is more of a looser.
That's right. It is.
So that's what a garden rose is, looser.
It does, and it comes in the same colors. Like this just happens to be one I picked up, but they just get huge. They last a long time and at a fraction of the cost. So you can really save a lot of money by getting the look you want without, and truthfully, not everyone knows the difference. There are some of these garden roses that look exactly like a peony.
Really?
I wish I had one to show you today. But there are different colors, lots of different colors. This one's called Free Spirit, and that is so you. You can wear that.
Oh yes, honey, I should be wearing this.
Spirit.
I should be wearing this in my hair. I am a free spirit. Oh my goodness.
Yep,
and what color is this?
This one is called coral, and it's called Coral Abundance, I think, and it's just
coral. And so it has like a little pink.
And the bigger and the longer it opens, the better. And we let flowers like this open so they're at peak for the wedding.
Really?
You know, nobody wants a tight bud that looks like
or some of them never open.
That's right. And some don't.
Right.
And the true thing about roses, and just a little tip for you, is that if they don't open, you cut them and cut them underwater and put them in warm water. Most people think you give them cold water.
Yes.
No, don't give them cold water. Give them warm water because you've got to get that water to the head.
Okay, so we should be cutting it at an angle.
That's right.
And warm water.
Warm water.
So that explains why whenever I get flowers, they don't do well and they die.
Yeah.
Okay.
And people tell me all the time, so should I give them some cold water and aspirin? And I said, if you want cold water and aspirin, you have it, but it won't help them. You really need that.
So that's a myth.
Yeah.
That's a myth. Okay, so the warm water.
That's right.
All right, and so these are year-round.
They're year-round. You can get them. They come from Ecuador. In Ecuador, the stems, they live on the bushes until they begin to pop, and that makes all the difference in the world.
Really?
Because if you get a rose that is so tight, it may take forever to open. It may never open. But these they come in already popped a bit.
Really?
And the more they open, the more.
So even though they are open, they're not dying?
Not at all.
Okay, so people like me would know that.
And they're
really
from everywhere. You know, most of the best roses now come from Ecuador.
Okay.
And and that's a long way, and they may be on a plane for a couple of days, or even the whole trip may take 4 or 5 days.
Really?
Between getting here, getting to Miami, getting to Atlanta, getting to Columbus. They've been on more trips than I have on that.
So for me, with my little inexpensive wedding, I won't say cheap because I don't want to insult my husband, I had yellow tea roses.
They're beautiful.
Well, that's all we really can afford. With baby's breath. You know, so those are plentiful.
Baby's breath is having a big comeback, but it's still not my favorite flower because I started back in the 70s when it was so darn popular.
And everybody, we just overdid it.
Yeah.
For everything.
Yeah.
No, it was. They used it even in casket spray.
And to me, it smells like.
See, I never smelled it. I just I thought that it was like almost like cardboard. I could never, but see, you're seeing it at its fresh.
Yeah.
Right. And so that would be something that's economical.
Yes, it is. And it's very big now. It's really on a big comeback. It's not, again, it's not my favorite, but hey, it's all about the bride.
It's all about the bride.
That's right.
Right. And so when we're looking at the planning of weddings, anniversaries, these gender reveals, see, in the old days, we just had a standard baby shower. Now the gender reveals, they are really going way out. And so if it's a boy.
Yes, if it's a boy, delphinium, and that's a good color for you too.
Right. So
delphinium is the only.
And it looks like it's plastic. Yes. This is real.
And they do. They look like little bells.
Right, right.
And it's one of the only flowers that truly grows that color, the blue.
So this is natural.
No, right, not spray. We don't paint flowers.
David don't paint flowers.
But it's a beautiful color, and it comes in light and dark blue.
Really?
It's really pretty. This is the most popular, and blue is the #1 color of the year for weddings.
For 2024?
Dresses, yes. Dresses, everything.
Okay.
So if you're going to do it, do that.
Is this
and look at these two
affordable?
together.
It's beautiful.
Oh, they're both very affordable.
These are affordable.
Yeah.
So we
and
don't
the
have
color together is great.
It is. So we don't have to break the bank.
That's right.
Parents not having to mortgage their house.
That's right.
No, because we know some people that had $40,000 weddings, and their parents were not wealthy people. Right. But they want to give the baby girl whatever that dream is. Well, my daddy was not one of those. He's like,
but you're just as married.
Right. I'm just as married. Been married for a long time. But yeah, it's like, no, this is it, and you do what you can with this. But we didn't have sprayed carnations. We did have the little tea roses. So, but what we're going to do now, go to a break to our sponsors, and we'll be right back. We'll be right back after word from some of our sponsors.
Straightforward is brought to you by State Senator Ed Harbison, serving the citizens of Georgia's 15th Senatorial District and on the front lines for veterans every day. Progressive Funeral Home, family owned and operated since 1952. The George Ford legacy of high standards continues today in the compassionate and professional services provided. A touch of dignity for those who care. Progressive Funeral Home, 4235 St. Mary's Road, trusted by generations. Whole Patient Healthcare. Dr. Jada Rimes-Bacote is board certified in family medicine. She believes the best patient care includes practical, individualized lifestyle changes. Located at 1338 13th Avenue, Columbus, 706-641-2080, or visit wholepatienthealthcare.com.
And welcome back to Straightforward. I'm continuing this lovely visit at my pretend home, the historic Highland Hall, with the wonderful florist extraordinaire, David Benefield. I tell you, I'm counting the days down. One day you're going to see me at the door with my suitcase, and you're like, oh, so what are you doing? But I know everyone, we watch you on social media, and you love the white orchids.
I do. The white ones particularly are the most popular. And you'll see those on television behind every news anchor.
Very elite.
Yes.
Yes.
And the white ones go with everything. We sell other colors, but we'll sell 50 white ones every 2 weeks.
Really?
And they last a long time. This one's my favorite. It's called waterfall. See how they train them to do like that?
And I thought it was pretty. Artificial, but it's real.
So you can see it.
Right.
And see, that is just really pretty.
It is.
And in a pretty container. And it's a good value because these blooms should last at least 3 months.
Really?
Blooming 3 months. And most people throw them away after that. They get you know, once it's not blooming, they're down to 2 leaves, they panic.
Well, that happened to me. My neighbor gave me one when my father passed away, and when the leaves were gone, and the little things were coming out. I thought it was dead, and I threw it out because I didn't know.
Keep it because, and the number one killer that I have to tell you is overwater. Most people overlove them. They will fill them full of water and they just rot. So the thing to do is to either to water them just a little bit, but if you're scared to do that, put 2 ice cubes right down into the plant, maybe once or twice a week, depending on the heat in the house. And that way it will water as it needs it. They grow on the side of trees in their natural habitat.
I've seen them in Miami. I was at a house in Star Island and they were coming out of the tree. I took pictures of them.
That's where they're happiest.
Really?
And so, see, that's how it is here. If you put them in soil, they don't even need the soil, just holds them in the pot.
Okay, so what is this just?
This is soil. It's just very minimal, and then a little moss for a cover.
Okay.
They're in a little pot.
Okay.
So it doesn't need much of anything. People bring them to me and say, please repot this, and I say no.
So they're supposed to stay close and tight.
And you can eventually, sometimes you can repot them, but a lot of times it's not necessary, and it will kill them.
So with this one, we have multiple pots.
There are 3 little pots, and we just tie them together for support, but I think it makes a wonderful look.
It does,
And
you have it on social media.
Yeah, 3 months blooming. And then the good beauty of that is once they quit blooming, if you'll put them near a window, not direct sun, but then fertilize them with Miracle-Gro or something once a month, and they should bloom again in 1 year.
Okay.
So you bring them back, and what a great value.
And so in that 1 year, here I go, being a slow person. We're going to put it near the window.
Near the window. So
okay, not direct, but indirect sunlight.
That's right.
We're going to put a little Miracle-Gro once.
A month, I'm sorry. Once a month. Yeah.
Once a month, Miracle-Gro.
Right, yeah.
And then the ice cube still twice a week.
That's right.
Okay.
And that just makes it start blooming again. It needs light and fertilizer, but not sun. A lot of people mistake light and sun.
Exactly. And I would be that person. I'm really not a plant person. Even when I get roses, I kill them because I'm thinking they need cold water. And then I learned, I know, right? And they were like, well, put some Sprite in there, someone told me.
Well, it's just like plants that they say, give it some sun. Well, like an indoor plant doesn't need to be sitting out in the sun. You're not growing collard greens, you know.
We're not growing collard greens. No, really. And it's really an art to this. Yeah. It really is because it seems like every plant needs something different.
That's right.
It's not a one size fits all.
You have to think about where they grow.
Okay.
You know, like
their original habitat.
Absolutely. Like a lot of palms and things grow in jungles and you know where it's cool and
tropical, damp.
That's right.
Right.
And so, and there are a few things like some of the things we sell outside that do like full sun, like different types of zinnias and potted things that can take the full sun. But,
well, let me ask you this, Chris. Somebody I know killed our azalea bush. I won't call their name. They almost sprayed it right away. We had it for about 20 years. It is not living. They were more worried about the wasp than it was about the bush. But I wanted to put a hydrangea. Is that a low maintenance? I don't need anything that's going to require special attention.
The main thing is water for hydrangea. You just got to water, particularly until you get it going good. You got to water a lot. You can't put it, and they almost need more shade than sun because they're real like crazy. Okay. So if you don't have a whole lot of shade there, it might not be the best place to put it.
Okay, so what would you suggest for a low literacy plant person?
I would do something just evergreen that could take the heat, something that's going to stay green all season.
Yeah, because all the other shrubs are just green. But that we only had the one flowering, which was the azalea.
You could probably do something like a gardenia or a camellia.
Okay, so we have a camellia at our back fence.
They can take more.
Okay, the camellia, and they smell good.
That's right.
They do smell good.
I tell people about yards, and I'm not a big yard person, but I tell people the thing I do about a yard is you start with the beginning and you do things that are going to look good all year, all green. Everything green that's going to stay green.
Right.
And then you fill in the color. Seasonal.
Okay, because I don't do plants or anything because it requires too much attention, and that's not my gift. See, we all have different gifts and talents, and I try to stay within the realm of what my talents are. So I just thought, though, since that bush died, that might could get one, because like growing up as a child, I would see the purple hydrangeas and then the white ones. But then they come in pink and other colors too.
That's right.
So you don't get to pick that. How does that happen?
Well, and sometimes they change color. My grandmother was great at changing the color, and they knew all the tricks about putting fish heads and rusty nails and anything that they could do to change the alkaline.
Really?
And change the color of them. I have.
And that's a chemist.
Yeah.
Yeah, your grandmother was a chemist.
Well, she just old school. You know?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Well, I mean, who knows that?
But sometimes you'll get one that starts off one color, and when it blooms next year, it's a different color. And the alkaline where you planted it or whatever has changed that.
Wow.
The soil has changed that.
How amazing.
But the one thing about hydrangea, you got to water the devil out of it.
Okay, well, then we will not be getting one of those. And I think we'll just take your advice and get something that's evergreen.
That's right.
It's just that we just had that one little pop of color and it crossed the front yard, but we can just do without it. I don't need anything else to have to remember.
Have to remember the water.
Okay, so what we're going to do is take a break, go to our sponsor, and we'll be right back. We'll be right back after word from some of our sponsors.
David Benefield at the historic Highland Hall, Florist Extraordinaire, making dreams come true for all occasions. Visit David and his team today at 1504 17th Street or call 706-324-4881, where happiness blooms. Barbara's Cleaning Service, a 5-star commercial service with satisfied customers in Georgia and South Carolina, built on the principle that every detail matters. Barbara's Cleaning Service, a new season building a family legacy.
And welcome back to Straightforward. I'm enjoying this wonderful educational visit with the fabulous David Benefield, Florist Extraordinaire. I tell you, the weddings that you do are just phenomenal. I've seen the ones you've done for the Big Eddie Club and the big churches. Every Sunday, you're doing altar flowers, and you're in every church, big church in town.
A lot of churches.
Yeah.
A lot of churches.
And so what are you normally putting in the churches for worship service? Because
Well,
they're on the altar.
That's right. That's right. We do particularly special ones that people want something really special. A lot of times they have regular ones that they may get elsewhere, but particularly when they want something special, they come to us for that, and we love doing it. And we'll do things that will last, obviously, but lots of color. You know, we might do things like gladiolas, which are beautiful and last a long time.
And they come in different colors.
They come in lots.
So that's the tall, skinny thing.
And the delphinium we saw earlier, that's a great one. But church arrangements are great, and we can do them. We put them in. I have a key to most every church in town.
Isn't that something?
So I think they trust those.
So you're not there to steal the gold off the altar. And so you're doing those, and you're opening the church, going in, putting the flowers in on Sunday morning or Saturday
No, we do it on Saturday. We do it on Saturday, and we, you know, most of the alarm codes, and so it works out.
That means you're trustworthy.
Well, we've got a great crew. Trent, who is our guy, that big smile guy.
Yeah, just the nicest guy. Yeah, last year he
best.
helped us with Senator's Black Music Month, and he loaned us flowers for that. And he came in the storm, it was raining, and he was so pleasant
and
everything. Yeah, he
He's
represents you well.
He does. He's
yes,
the best.
good customer service.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, you know, he said, oh, yes, ma'am, just really polite.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so your team is superb.
But you know, and some people like things in churches that sometimes they'll request things that aren't practical.
Okay, like
tulips.
See, that's what, you got to teach us these things. Because, you know, we don't know what we don't know, and we know what we like.
That's right.
But that doesn't mean that you can make that dream come true.
That's
now, you do make dreams come true every week.
Well, and you can certainly have them in an arrangement, but you got to do it and realize that they're not going to last forever. And different things last different times. They're beautiful. One thing about tulips is they will lay down. They stand
they
up
just
and
flop over.
they just flop over. Now tomorrow they may be back up like this.
Really? Is it water or climate?
it's just how they do. They relax and they grow. They grow in your base. You may start out with one here, and it may grow up to you. So it's kind of they're a beautiful thing. But Pinterest and so many different magazines and things have led us to like all these things that don't always work for our particular.
Because they're trying to sell something else.
They're selling a magazine for one thing.
Exactly. and you want us to pick a flower that makes sense. So we're not disappointed.
That's right.
On our wedding day, or it's a big family anniversary, 50 years, 25 years.
That's right.
You do a lot of those.
And you want to know that. You don't want your florist not to tell you that. And say, well, that's what you ordered. you know, you don't want to do that. So I tell them, my sister says I'm a bubble burster sometimes. You know.
No, you're not. You're an honest, nice guy. But I would rather know on the front end than to get to the day of and be disappointed.
Oh, yeah.
Right, because I know someone that ordered flowers and person ended up having football moms.
Oh, that's 1970.
Yeah, and they were like devastated because they didn't explain to them. And so when I saw it, I was like, that's what they used to put on the homecoming queens on the football field.
And that's another thing now. You know, we used to do that. Proms, they would do that sort of thing. But now the fashion is a bouquet. It looks like a bridesmaid's bouquet.
Right.
It's
like a nosegay.
That's right.
Yeah, I had a nosegay before.
Very popular.
Yes,
very
okay. Popular. So we're not doing the wrist massages and all of that.
Hardly ever do we do that anymore. It's kind of a changing trend. We still do a little of that, but not much. But never the pin-on.
Right.
Even now for weddings, we don't do that unless grandmother just insists.
Really?
But most of the time, their dresses are so fragile and beautiful now that they don't do that. And even the mother will carry a tiny bouquet.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's just a little thing.
Okay, so are the groomsmen still wearing the little boutonnieres?
They are boutonnieres, and they're wearing simple boutonnieres like this one, which is a neat. I wish I had the problem to show you. Wonderful little flower. But yes, they are.
Not the big bulky 3-4 roses.
No.
With all of the
baby's breath.
No. The baby's breath from back in the day. Yeah, we love that baby's breath. We put it in the hair.
Everywhere.
We put it everywhere.
And now we even do the dog collar. That's very popular with it because they may not take the dog to the wedding, but if they've got a favorite dog, they will have.
A lot of the dogs are in the wedding.
That's right.
Right.
That's right. And even if they're not, they'll take pictures. So I have them bring me the collar that fits the dog, and we do flowers around it, and we just clip it on for the pictures, and it's beautiful.
Isn't that something?
It's all about the pictures.
I know, because that's what's going to last
forever.
That's what's going to last. So what are we doing now are we doing the baskets with the flowers for the flower girls, or are we doing something else?
Some still do. A lot of the churches won't let you throw the real petals because of lawsuits and staining and that sort of thing. So we still do that a lot. But the other thing that we do is a ball of flowers. You may have seen the little flower girl with a ball of flowers. And one of
so it's just that round thing with the little
loop, and she can carry it. One of the things that we like to do is called a little bouquet with love knots. And what it is, it's a little miniature bouquet like the girls, very tiny for the little girl. It has long streamers that go almost to the floor, and we tie it little knots with flowers in them. So it moves when she walks, and it matches what she's wearing on her
hair. So it's just swinging.
Swinging.
Oh Lord! So you're doing the halos and
that.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's a neat thing.
So see, that's something new.
That's right.
Because we're not throwing the petals on the carpet because they stain. Because we didn't spray paint them.
That's right.
Right.
and lawsuits and churches have just really gotten, a lot of them won't let you do that.
Really?
Now, if it's outside,
right, then that's different. Right.
And we do a lot of things at the bid meal and places like that outside where it's okay to do that.
Right. So let me ask this before we run out of time, but in the fall, we attended a wedding and they had like purple and green and burnt orange. And so there are particular seasonal flowers that if people are booking you because you are booked a year in advance. I mean, when you're the best, that's how you roll. I tell you, and when I get ready to have you move out, I'm going to have to make sure you don't have weddings.
Don't have a wedding that way.
I know, you have to get your things and go. But even for 50th anniversaries, renewal of vows, gender reveals, the bridesmaids, and the rehearsal dinners. You were saying that you all are, sometimes it's 100 people.
That's right. We used to be, we would have just the bridal party and the parents and grandparents maybe. But now there can be 90 or 100 people at one. And it's just a big...
Because it used to be the wedding party.
Another trend is to cut the groom's cake at the rehearsal dinner.
Oh, see, I didn't know that.
It's his night.
Oh, see, I didn't know that.
It's a big trend that's really
changed, because we used to have a table for the groom's cake at the wedding.
And a lot still do, but it is the new trend, and I kind of like it because it's his special night.
It gives him attention versus the day of the wedding, which is the bride.
Because as we all know, his cake goes up in the corner.
It does. People might get to it in the reception.
And it's a delicious cake usually.
Exactly. Yeah. No, really something he usually likes,
And we put flowers on the bride's cake, fresh flowers almost all.
Fresh flowers.
Yes,
so all of that's in the budget. So we were looking at decorating the church. Now you're decorating the ceilings.
Chandeliers.
We got everything that's going on.
They can dance under flowers. We can hang them from the ceiling for dancing. We can do all of that.
Okay.
Whatever's.
But if they want you, they have
Book it fast.
book it and book it a year in advance.
A lot of times we are booked for next year almost. We've got a lot of weddings already next year. Not completely booked for next year, but most of them are a year out.
Okay. So we always have that big event in the fall. I came last year. It's a 2-day event. Simply fabulous. The gentleman with the top hats and welcoming you up the steps, and someone on the piano in the other parlor over there.
We got a great video of you with that.
I had fun. I really had fun, and I liked the lady you had playing the piano. And so when is that?
That's in the end of October. It's usually the weekend before Halloween. Always, whatever that falls on. And it's great. We have wine and food and everything. And the whole place is completely decorated. We have the guys out front. We have police officers for parking and everything. So we're in good shape.
Right. And so it's open to the public.
It is.
The first night is for your garden clubs and your historic.
We have to do that just because we don't have, there are over 100 people each time. So.
Right. And so the second night is open to the public, no charge.
That's right.
Okay.
No charge. We'd love to have you.
All right, so when I can save my money up to have a real wedding without having to have the miniature roses, I will certainly book it in advance after 42 years. I think we'll be able to do that. Well, thank you so much for doing this. It's always a pleasure to visit my pretend home, and you keep it so beautiful, and if people have never been here, they just need to stop and come and take a tour. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, this has been straightforward. If you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything. Until next time, be blessed.
What up, world? What's up, Columbus? Be sure to tune in every Sunday, Straightforward with Gloria Strode, right here on NBC 38.